black woman. That jet black woman. Best respect that woman. The black woman is God.
All right, sisters, peace. This I decided to turn into a multi-part series, Deva's Word on Self-Hatred. You know, I was just so inspired, and I gotta say thank you to the brother who actually posted the comment, even though I'm still gonna cuss you out and tell you about yourself. I want to say thank you because you did your job. That is exactly what your job as a man is to be. It's to be an agitator of womanhood and to inspire us to do something different, and that's what I'm gonna do. Something that is becoming increasingly difficult in our lives as black people is respect for one another's right to make decisions, respect for one another's sovereign authority, and our right to exist on our own terms. You know, the other day on Angry Divas, I posted this. Let me get this up and just read it to you all. Because this was actually, it started a pretty interesting conversation among a couple of us. But it was written by Brian McGill, and it says, accepting a person who is not consistent is difficult because it means you cannot depend on them to have unchanging values and ideas, which is another way of saying you cannot understand them. People often want to quote-unquote understand others to know their place for strategic self-positioning, which is ultimately about control and safeguarding their advantage. If you make a big life change, it may literally shatter those around you because they can only accept and love you their way. They may judge you as unstable, but really they are unstable, which is why they may fall apart as you move forward. It's really their illusion of knowing that the control has ended. The inconsistent person is free, and freedom is really what most people fear. Who says you have to be the same person tomorrow that you are today? It's a ridiculous notion. Change is inevitable. Your personal and spiritual evolution will always be seen as betrayal by those whose values you abandon. You have a right to change your values, beliefs, and ideas. The discomfort you feel when attempting to change is just the social control that surrounds you becoming more obvious and bearing down on you. There is nothing more spiritual than freedom, and it is very spiritual to violate old beliefs for new values. This starts an interesting conversation about what we value and what we find to be spiritual, and something that I'm always going to encourage my students and the women who come to me for mentorship is to redirect and rewrite the script. You are the author and the finisher of your own fate, and you are the one who gets to decide what is and what is not a possibility or worthy of having a position in your life. And this is something that we don't expect from women, and especially don't expect from black women. And this is where the basis of the black man's accusation of self-hatred comes from. If we don't toe the race line, if we're not race women, we must hate ourselves. If you date a white man, it's because you hate yourself. Funny, it's never because he hates himself when he dates a white woman. And black men date out and marry out more than any other race of people on the planet, and certainly more than black women do. But it's not self-hatred the reason why they do this. Self-hatred is something that is used to keep a black woman in her place, and her place is to exist as the battery for black men's dreams and for black men's needs. It's okay for black women to be on the front lines, marching, creating Black Lives Matter, and doing all of this here, but to in any way, shape, or form then turn around and say, well, listen, that makes me God, is an act of self-hatred. To turn around and say, black man, you cannot behave toward me the way that the white man behaves toward the both of us is self-hatred. To say, black man, you should not be seeking to be a patriarch, but a son of mother, is self-hatred. And all of this is based on exactly what I just wrote, or read to you rather. People want to understand others to know their place for strategic self-positioning, which is ultimately about control and safeguarding their advantage over you and their advantage in life. So black male people want to quote-unquote understand us black women just so that they can strategically position themselves in a way to control and safeguard their advantage over us in life. That's self-hatred. That's hating yourself, hating your kind, hating your race so much that you don't want to play your proper position and role, which is an auxiliary and to help us meet our goal of creation. That's who the real helpmeet is. It's you, black man. You were created by us to help us meet our goal of creation. We were born with a job. Our job is to be creators, and we are creating something every day. And your goal, being the bearer of the divine rod, is to help us in that. The next part will be coming up soon. Thanks for listening. Ashe, Selah, Swaha.